Okay, welcome back to Wholesaling with Mike. Here we are at module number 2. We've gotten all of the introductory stuff out of the way. So we're going to get started here with the most important key to your success. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. It's going to be the theme for today's module. And I know some of you might be thinking, man, not this positive thinking stuff. I already do that. And some of you just want to get into wholesaling and real estate. But if I skip right into the real estate stuff without addressing this, I will be doing you a huge disservice. One thing that's really going to separate this program from others is that we're covering the gamut of wholesaling. I mean, obviously, we'll go step by step on how to flip properties, but to do this successfully, it really is so much more than that. I mean, we're going to talk about mindset, motivation, obstacles, the how, the why, and so much more. So we're going to get started with that here today. I mean, truly, there's no success in this world without first conquering the battle within your mind. And no matter how much of a positive thinker you think you are, there are blind spots that can be holding you back from reaching your full potential. And if you're already practicing this stuff, being very positive and reading and growing, I mean, that's great, but you still need to go through this module. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Let's just keep doing it. It's like Zig Ziglar says, people often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing, right? We recommend it daily. So in order to be successful with the program and do the things that I'm going to suggest that you do, you've got to develop this mindset, a certain lifestyle, a way of thinking that is committed to personal growth. And also, I've told you before, I'm not into theory. I'm not just going to say, well, be a positive thinker. A theme of the entire program is that there'll always be actionable items. I'm going to show you the why, so you're motivated to do it. And then I'm going to show you the how, so you know exactly how to do it. So there'll always be those actionable items for you. So actually do them, all right? Let's go ahead and get started with this thing. So now I want to talk to you about Think and Grow Rich. Now, a lot of you have probably heard of this book. It was written by Napoleon Hill in 1937 with over 15 million copies sold. That right there should tell you something. In the book, Hill interviewed over 500 of the most successful men in history. So we're talking about guys like John D. Rockefeller, who started the Standard Oil Company. And adjusted for inflation, this dude would be worth about 300 billion with a B dollars today. We're talking about guys like Andrew Carnegie, the father of the American railroad system, Henry Ford, and he found among these super successful and super wealthy people that they had no commonalities, meaning they weren't from wealthy families. They weren't from a particular part of the country. They didn't have a certain level of education. He didn't find any commonalities between them except for their attitude towards success and their attitude towards money. So let's go ahead and look at the actual points in the book. And I'll do this very quickly. Don't want to spend too much time here. But first is desire. Next is faith, autosuggestion, where you just repeat something to yourself until your subconscious mind soaks it up and just makes it true. Specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, power of the mastermind, the mystery of sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense. Now, there's a free copy of this in your materials. I highly suggest you check this out. And here's the thing. You can take a room of 100 people and say to them, look, if you read this book, this big 500-page book, right? I guarantee you will be rich. I guarantee you get to the last page and $100 million show up in your bank account just for reading it. Guaranteed, just for argument's sake. 90% may have the intention of getting started, 50 will actually start, and less than 10% will actually do it. And you really got to wonder why, but just know that success leaves clues. So there's really some great stuff in this book. Again, the copy is there. Download it to your smartphone, computer, your Kindle, and it's something that you can read in a weekend, but it really will take a lifetime to master. So now, pertaining to money, there are actually 6 steps throughout the book that can be summed up like this. The first one is to fix in your mind an exact picture of what you desire. It's not sufficient to just say, I want a lot of money, but you've got to be definite as to the amount. Step 2 is to determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the thing you desire. There's no such thing as getting something for nothing. Step 3, you've got to establish a definite date by which you intend to possess the desired thing. Step 4, Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once. This is so important. Whether you feel entirely ready or not to put the plan into action. Step 5, write out a clear, concise statement of your responses to the preceding 4 steps. And step 6, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once after arising in the morning and once just before going to bed at night. And as you read, you're going to see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of whatever your goal happens to be. So obviously we're going to expand on some of this stuff in a bit, but those are just the bullet points there. Cliff Notes version. So next we got to talk about attitude. You've really got to examine your attitude in a way that is free from your ego. Now here's the thing. Everyone will tell you they have a positive attitude. In fact, I haven't met anyone who told me they had a negative attitude. But maybe 1 in 1,000 truly possess it. So you've got to examine your attitude towards and your belief in yourself. You've also got to examine your attitude towards money. I mean, think about it. What are some of the things you heard about money growing up? Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by. You've got to work hard for money, right? And what are your limiting beliefs and your subconscious thoughts about these things, right? So really, really think about this. I mean, let me give you, this is a personal example for me. My dad, he's a huge sports fan, and he's always rooted for the humble underdog. He never really liked anybody who dominated or boasted. So this includes people like Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, the guys that I really look up to today. And the message there, the subconscious message, even though he never said this to me, was to be humble, to be, to not be dominant, to hide your success almost. And it felt like to me, without even knowing it, that being proud of my accomplishments was boastful or arrogant. And guess how well this translated to my business life? I mean, even though I was a positive thinker, I was really self-sabotaging myself in a lot of unconscious ways. So you've got to take some serious time to ponder these things and know that the answers are not always going to be easy. And I don't care how positive you think you are, okay? Your past was full of embedded, subconscious, limiting beliefs that will never be gone. Your present, the day-to-day life of this world, is designed to keep you in bondage. So you really got to fight for your life. I mean, I say these things and people act like I'm nuts. I take this stuff too seriously. But make no mistake, I mean, this is war. Life is not easy. Stuff comes at you. You've got to do whatever it takes, and you are good enough. You've got to know that you're good enough. But your attitude is something that you've got to constantly and consistently work on for the rest of your life. So this is really just this brief intro to attitude. Once you finish the main program, the full wholesaling curriculum, I'm going to encourage you to check out the bonus materials where over time I'm going to be uploading very specific modules and lessons that focus on attitude and character and personal growth, subconscious beliefs, how to be more productive, stop procrastinating, why you're doing things, mind reprogramming, and some other very cool things. But for now, I want to jump into some action items, right? It's like I promised. I love action items. So here's where if it wasn't out already, I don't know what you've been doing, but you need to whip out your notebook. And if you don't have your notebook, then you failed. I mean, seriously, what are you doing? That was an action item from yesterday. Don't be failing already, okay? Now, before I go into the specifics of this stuff here, let me just say, I want you to just do these things, okay? I want you to detach yourself from the results and just do it. This is something I'll talk about later in the program. But sometimes when you're starting something, for example, I use a lot of analogies with the gym. If you start working out, you can say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to look for results. I am not going to, check my weight every day. I'm just going to do this program, this exercise regimen, and eat this proper food for 8 weeks no matter what. I'm not going to look at the results. And I want you to detach yourself from the results for just a moment and just focus on doing these action items. I know the results will be there, but I want you to just do them. First step here is to watch the movie The Secret. A lot of you may have heard of this or seen it. If you've seen it already, so what? Go watch it again. I've probably seen this about 100 times. It's really a great foundational piece, especially when you're starting something new. Will help you set your expectations, really gain some confidence and motivation moving forward, and how to use the law of attraction to get you the things you want. If you have seen it before, maybe you can even watch it with someone who hasn't seen the movie. Next, I want you to go to YouTube and watch Anything and Everything by Tony Robbins. Remember what I said about success leaving clues? Here's a link to one of his exercises here. This one's called the emotional flood. I'll post the link also below the video, but actually do this one. Now, just a little disclaimer, this particular one, it's actually featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show. So if that tells you anything, yes, it's emotional. It may even feel a little bit awkward, maybe even a little bit uncomfortable. If you're like most people, when you watch it, you'll say, that's cool, but I don't need to actually do it. Please do not start this program by setting this precedent that you can just skip certain things. Whether you agree with it or not, or think it will help it or whatever, just go ahead and do this actual exercise. Next, I want you to commit to going radio free for the next 30 days. Man, 30 days is a freaking joke, okay? You can do this, but especially if you drive often, this is a must. And in one of my high-level masterminds, we talk about making change in chunks of 30 days. So it goes like this. The first 10 days are unbearable. It's like, man, I don't know if I can do this. The next 10 days are uncomfortable. And the next 10 days, you're unstoppable. Now, the reason I want you to take this 30-day break is because I want you to get an Audible account, which comes with a free trial, and listen to number 1, The Secret Code of Success by Noah St. John. This is a fantastic foundational book. It talks about things that most self-help books do not discuss, things like your whys, your motivation, subconscious beliefs. This is one of the most important books I've ever read, right up there with Think and Grow Rich. So you want to get this one first. And then once you finish this one, go ahead and check out Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. This one will just change your views on money and how you think about money. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is more of a, kind of a one-time thing. You listen to it or read it and you really get the concept, start to apply it. Secret Code of Success, I also recommend getting that in print. It's one of those things, lifetime to master. You're going to keep coming back to this one over and over. Also, I like it because they're actionable steps. All right, next I want you to monitor your self-talk. Your words have power. I know people say that, it sounds cliche, but I don't just mean influence. I mean real, actual power to make things happen, to manifest things. I don't know how to explain it, but you've got to stop saying things like, why do I suck at this? Or why do I never get my contracts accepted? Change them instead to, how can I get my contracts accepted? How can I get better at this? So you really got to start changing the way you talk to yourself and removing that negativity. And then you've got to identify one negative external influence and reduce your time with that person. Now, everyone has that one friend or that one acquaintance. Maybe it's the guy at work who sits by the water cooler and just bitches all day. Or maybe you've got a friend that's just always on, CNN or talking about how bad the economy is, or, how bad the stock market's doing. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to cut this person out of your life, but you've got to start reducing the time you spend with that person. You are who you associate with, and you are your environment. Next, you've got to commit to personal growth. I'll go into some more details as to how we do this, but just know that this is going to be a commitment you make for the rest of your life. Back to my gym analogy, no successful person says, I got the six-pack, done, I finished this whole gym thing, and, I'm off to McDonald's. No, they commit to being healthy or living that lifestyle for the rest of their life. And you can do that by creating and practicing your daily commitments, which include Affirm and Affirmations, your definite major purpose, and your morning routine. We'll talk about all of those in just a minute here. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and tackle this last bullet point, which is to purchase and read E Squared by Pam Grout. Now, this is an amazing book, very small, very short, maybe about 100 pages. I keep it on my desk. Let me just read the back of this for you. E Squared could be described as a lab manual with simple experiments that prove reality is malleable, consciousness trumps matter, and you shape your life with your mind. Yes, you read that right. It says prove. The 9 experiments, each of which can be conducted with absolutely no money and very little time expenditure, demonstrate that spiritual principles are as dependable as gravity, as consistent as Newton's law of motion. Rather than take it on faith, E Squared invites you to prove the following principles. There is an invisible energy force or field of infinite possibilities. You impact the field and draw from it according to your beliefs and expectations. Your connection to the field provides accurate and unlimited guidance. The universe is limitless, abundant, and strangely accommodating. Like I said, this is a very short book, and if you're skeptical the way that I once was about maybe law of attraction and your mindset, man, you just got to get this book. They're actual things. You go through the experiments, you do them, and for some of you, this is really going to be, mind-boggling here. So again, here are your action items. I'll leave this up for a second. Pause the screen if you need to, and next, I'm going to go ahead and jump into your definite major purpose. Okay, your definite major purpose. Now, this is a very cool exercise. Again, this comes from Napoleon Hill to help really guide you on where you want to go in life by first defining what that is and what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and help you craft that right now. First bullet point I've got here is great. This is my example. Okay, I knew this was coming. But I'm going to walk you through an example of a definite major purpose that I made for myself a few years ago. And hopefully it helps to invoke some thought on your part. And if anything here resonates with you, feel free to borrow it and use it for when you create your own definite major purpose. So let's go ahead and look at this now. All right, so my definite major purpose is to glorify God by first achieving and then spreading my message of physical, mental, spiritual, and financial freedom. Through real estate investing, I'll become a multimillionaire in order to provide wealth for my family, to protect Jade, that's my daughter, and give her the absolute best life possible. Give generously to the kingdom of God, help those in need, and live my God-given purpose. To be South Florida's biggest, baddest, best, and #1 wholesaler. To motivate, inspire, educate, and help others achieve financial freedom and happiness. To start an educational platform targeted towards underprivileged youth, and to open and operate an MMA school and gym that offers free enrollment for youth. What I intend to give for the realization of this purpose. I'll focus on my relationship with God and try and open my heart and mind to His will rather than trying to figure everything out by myself. I intend to worry less and to truly trust God the way I know I should. I will try to live my life by Christ's example through love, faith, trust, forgiveness, gratitude, and understanding. In my business, I intend to give excellent, honest, dependable, and timely service to my buyers, partners, investors, and sellers. I will do more than I say I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it with a good attitude. I will exceed expectations. I will look out for other people's interests and not just my own. I will work 6 days a week as God intended. I will work with a sense of urgency and with sickening work ethic. This is the kind of man I am. I'll work harder than all of my peers and all of my competitors. I will make sacrifices and give up or at least severely limit activities that don't move me towards my goals, such as watching television, playing video games, drinking, going out, socializing, and other distracting or short-term pleasurable activities. I will think long-term, exercise self-discipline, and form habits of success. I accept personal responsibility for everything in my life. I'm more than capable of achieving all that I want, and it's merely a matter of choice. I will use this same willpower to resist foods that are not healthy to my body. I'm going to eat healthily, energizing, and natural foods for my physical and mental well-being. I will give generously to others with both my time and money. At a minimum, I'll tithe 10% of all of my earnings from now onward, regardless of my current situation. I will use my gift of persuasion to bring as much business as possible to everyone that I'm associated with. I'll continually educate myself so I can become the best I can be and will pass that knowledge on to friends, associates, and students who want to learn. I'm committed to personal growth and who I am becoming. I will give back to God and my community as He directs me by His Holy Spirit. I will read God's Word cover to cover, be a good steward, have limitless and unshakable faith, and trust God to take control of my life. So here are the benefits to me of achieving my goals. Freedom. Freedom to spend time with Jade, watch her grow, protect her, and be a part of her life. Time is flying by so fast. Focus more on my spirituality and connection with God. Have freedom from a 9 to 5. Never have a boss again. Freedom from financial worries. The ability to help others and give freely. Train MMA 6 days a week. Become a pro MMA fighter. Feed Jade healthy, organic foods, keeping her away from processed and cancer-causing foods that will make her ill. Afford to eat healthily, improve vitality, feel better, afford supplements, achieve and maintain my ideal body, enjoy life's abundance, nice car under warranty, finally, beautiful homes, travel wherever, whenever, help my family and treat them to nice things. I'll save lives. I'm a hardworking, wealthy, independent real estate investor of a multi-million-dollar business with a 7-figure net worth. I flip at least 2 houses every month and generate an income of no less than $10,000 a month. I'm an MMA fighter who unmercifully dominates and finishes any opponent who dares to step in the cage with me. So my plan to achieve my definite major purpose was take action, make offers daily, build momentum. I will not procrastinate. When I think of something to do, I'll do it then. Take calls or return all within 24 hours. Pray constantly, be grateful, read my Bible daily, listen to and read inspirational and spiritual messages, share the word. Be bold and be fearless. And then I go on to say specifics of what my plan is. So here, education, I'll always be in the middle of a book on real estate, business growth, and or success, how I plan on networking, how I'm going to be advertising, prospecting. My investing game plan is here. Still want to learn and invest in some commercial properties. I've got something that looks very good for this year. Giving, I want to sponsor 100 children, tithe. And my current word for the year was discipline. The ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. All right, so let's jump back into your definite major purpose now. We already made it through my example, and now I just want to give you some rules for creating your own definite major purpose. First, your definite major purpose is yours and yours alone. So don't make it what you think people expect from you or something that just sounds good. Although my definite major purpose is 2 pages long and it's pretty specific, yours doesn't have to be. A great definite major purpose can be just 1 sentence long. My definite major purpose in life is to provide value to others, and that's fine. You can also change your definite major purpose as often as you like. So don't think that you need to decide on it right now, one purpose that you're bound to for the rest of your life. And then read it out loud every single day, multiple times a day, in fact, but yes, every single day. I mean, mine is a little bit long. I think that one was 2 or 3 pages, and I read the whole thing every single day. And then even when I'm not in front of it, it got to a point, I had it memorized, and I'm just saying this stuff all the time, over and over in my head. How badly do you want it? How badly is this worth it to you? Read it out loud every day. All right, and now here are some questions to help you get started. You don't have to have the answers for all of these right now, but it's just going to help you get going. So the first one, why am I here? What is my purpose in life? What things are important to me? What makes me feel fulfilled? What would I do if I never needed money again? I love that one. What 3 regrets would I have if I found out I would die tomorrow? And what do I want my tombstone to say? So what do you want to be remembered for? So again, you don't need all the answers, but just think about these questions, outline, do some, jot down some ideas, and this should help you come up with your definite major purpose. So now let's talk about affirmations. And I love affirmations. This is some cool stuff right here. Affirmations are positive self-talk. And over time, it changes your belief. So this goes back to what Napoleon Hill talked about when he talked about the importance of autosuggestion. Perhaps the most famous person for doing this might be Muhammad Ali, where here he says, it's the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. Once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. And if you've followed his career at all, you know that he used to say, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. But interestingly enough, he didn't win the world championship and then start saying it. He started saying it well before he even believed it himself. And then over time, obviously, that became true. So there are 2 types of affirmations. I'm going to call the old school and the new school. Now the old school is what's taught traditionally. And essentially this is just making a statement. So for example, you say, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. And I like this. It is effective. It has worked for me. However, the only drawback to that is sometimes when you say, I am rich, your mind, somewhere in the back of your mind says, sure you are, but you got like $12 in the bank. So essentially it says, you're a liar, right? So then there's the new school, which basically lays out a plan. You affirm your plan to get to where you're going. So again, the example, old school, I am rich. New school would sound something like, I'm committed to making 10 offers a day, 5 days a week, so I can flip 2 houses a month and make 200 grand by December 31st. And you just say that over and over and over. And I think a healthy combination of the 2 is best. I mean, you're affirming something, I'm rich, that just goes by very quickly. You say it, you can repeat it, it gets into your head, and then you're laying out a plan. I'm committed to doing this, I'm committed to doing this so that I can get that, so that I can get that. When you put those 2 together, they can be very powerful. So we're going to go back into my personal example here, and I'll show you some of my personal affirmations. I walk by faith and not by sight. The just shall live by their faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. He who comes to God must believe that he is. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Whatever things you ask for when you pray, believe you receive them, you shall have them. I go over this stuff constantly when I wake up, when I go to sleep, when I shower, when I'm waiting in line, when I'm at the barbershop. When I first jump up out of bed, I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm energized. I'm energized. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Let's go, baby. I feel like $1,000,000. I'm feeling good like I should. I can't wait to see what amazing things God has in store for me today. I'm ready for today. I'm hungry. I'm ready to kill today. I'm ready to go. Got a great feeling about today. I feel happy, joyful, peaceful, restful. I feel strong, confident, powerful. Let's jump down a little bit. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm a finisher. I always finish what I start. I'm an overcomer. I'm an achiever. I'm a success. I'm a winner. I'm a child of God. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I always win because I'm a winner. I always succeed because I'm a success. I always overcome because I'm an overcomer. I always achieve because I'm an achiever. I always finish things because I'm a finisher. I expect the very best today. With God's help, I'm going to obtain the best. Life is good. It's only getting better. You know, one thing I like down here, right here, money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes to me. I attract money. It flows into my life. You know, I'm the biggest, baddest wholesaler in South Florida. I'm the biggest, baddest wholesaler in South Florida. I'm the biggest, baddest wholesaler in South Florida. I do a ton of business. I do a ton of business. I have ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, being realistic is the quickest path to mediocrity. I always work with a sense of urgency. I love to work. I can do it. I can do it. Sometimes I'll do this for a half hour, man. No joke. I can do it. I can do it. I know I can do it. I know, man. I know I can do it. Like, there's no doubt about this stuff, man. You cannot tell me otherwise. You know, I'm success minded. This is what I do. This is reality. This is truth. You got to accept this stuff. And a lot of these, you know, we talked about the old school way, and this is the old school way. You can see it just kind of flows right off the tongue. It's not as wordy as the new school, so it's easy to just go through and go through and go through. And so, you know, I do some visualization in the mornings, affirmations. We're gonna back up and come to this in a minute, but this is the stuff that I just added, and this is the new school version of affirmations, which says, you know, usually you probably write this out on a paper, but for example, I put these in there. To be more productive, you know, I'm committed to waking up at 5 a.m. and performing my morning routine each day so I can start the day energized in a productive state, in a state of gratitude and focused on my goals. To become healthier, I'm committed to training at ATT, that's my gym, American Top Team, for any UFC fans out there, 6 days a week, lifting at LA Fitness twice a week so I can have a healthy body, a lean, muscular, and defined look, and become the best fighter I can be, have at least 5 fights this year, and win a championship belt. To earn more money, I'm committed to making at least 10 offers first thing in the morning, 5 days a week, so I can flip 2 houses each month for a net profit of at least $10,000 a month and make a 6-figure salary each year. It's a mouthful, but it makes sense, and you got to just get this into your mind, into your brain. So those are the old school and new school affirmations. I'm going to put a copy of this in your materials. You know, rip what you want, leave the stuff out that doesn't resonate with you, make it your own, come up with some affirmations, and you don't need as many as I have. You can have 2, you can have 5, you can have 500. You know, this really is up to you. So let's jump back into affirmations. Okay, so this is probably not a real word, but it comes from the author of The Secret Code of Success, one of my favorite books of all time. And the book, as well as this word, was created by Noah St. John. And in the book, which you should be listening to at the very least, if not reading it, he'll explain, you know, the Latin root of this word and where it comes from or whatever. And I don't really know about that stuff, so I'm not going to try. But he says the problem with affirmations is essentially what I told you before. You say, I am rich, and your brain says you're a liar. So his solution to this, and I've used this highly successfully, where I've seen affirmations change my life over the course of maybe a year or 2 years. Affirmations, I started seeing change within probably that same week, and certainly within 30 days, within a month. So affirmations works like this. It says your brain is like Google. It works in questions. It doesn't question the question. It simply searches for answers. So instead of saying, I am rich, to which your subconscious mind says, bullshit, not true, you ask the question, why am I so rich? That's called an affirmation. So your brain doesn't question the question. Instead, your subconscious mind starts trying to answer it the way Google would. So when you say, why am I so rich? Instead of saying, no, you're not, your brain says, well, let's see. Because you work hard, because you are divinely favored, because you have great connections. And it starts searching for it and giving you these answers, and this all takes place subconsciously. So real quick, let's jump back to my definite major purpose and all this stuff. Bop, 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 bop. And these are some affirmations that I ripped from my current definite major purpose and put in here for you. So again, questions. Why has God blessed me so graciously? Why do I deserve success? Why am I so confident in my decision making? Why am I so rich? Why does money come to me so easily and frequently? Why am I so confident? Why do people love to work with me? Why do I get the best deals? Why am I in the best shape of my life? Why am I a winner? Why am I successful? Why do I make at least 10 grand every month? Why am I so disciplined? Why am I so energetic, motivated, and productive? Why do I always operate with a sense of urgency? Why do I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning feeling energized? And you keep going with this stuff. So these are affirmations. So of the three, affirmations are my favorite. But, some of the other stuff just feels good and it gets me hyped up and ready to go for my day. And so I recommend using a healthy blend of affirmations, the old school and the new school, and affirmations to add into what we're going to get into next. And that is your morning routine. Now, please give me your attention. What I'm about to share here is quite literally life-changing. I mean, literally, this is one of the most important things you can do for your life. So do it. And I'm stressing this because I was first introduced to the idea of having a morning routine about 5 years ago. The idea is to start your day by following a specific routine that builds momentum and focus to take you through your day. So you start by doing things like affirmations and some other exercises, both mental and physical, to really prime you for success. Now, when I heard about it, I loved the idea, but I saw it as optional. So I would basically do it whenever I felt like it. And while I enjoyed it and I did see positive change in my life, I really wasn't committing to it the way that I should have. So in probably 2012, I read a book called The Miracle Morning. It's by a guy named Hal Elrod, and made the commitment to my miracle morning, as he calls it, and to do it every single day. Now, this book's amazing. It's an Amazon bestseller. It's regarded as one of the most life-changing books ever written. Quote here, the simplest approach to achieving everything you've ever wanted and faster than you ever thought possible. And I can personally give testimony that my finances, my business, my relationships, my body, my health, and overall growth have really grown to amazing new levels as a result of this simple commitment. I mean, remember earlier we talked about success leaving clues. Well, almost every successful person I know would not dare to start their day without going through their morning routine. So how does it start? Well, the power of the morning routine actually begins the night before. So the first thing you want to do is spend some time really visualizing yourself the next day, feeling excited about the upcoming day, and actually seeing yourself waking up energized, feeling good. Have you ever had something really important the next day? Let's say like a job interview or something, and you knew that no matter what, no matter how you slept, you were just going to wake up on time, and you did. Or maybe it was something super exciting, like when you're a kid, maybe looking forward to Christmas. No matter what time you went to bed, you were just so excited about the day. You woke up at 6 a.m. anyway. So that's the kind of state that you want to get into. And then the next thing you can do is that if you're still using an alarm clock, and if you are, we're going to kill that habit soon, but place it across the room so you actually have to physically get up and walk across the room to shut it off. And definitely no snoozing. And then also, as your go-to wake-up track, I recommend something that really inspires you. So I don't use an alarm clock anymore, but when I did, I really enjoyed waking up to motivational speeches, like those from my man Eric Thomas. Now, you've probably heard of him. He's like an amazing motivational speaker who came from some really rough times. I mean, he's got a great book. I read his book, good stuff. But he was a high school dropout. He was homeless at one point. But, through self-education and his personal development, hard work, desire, I think he just got his PhD, and he makes his living giving speeches around the world to, high schools, businesses, professional sports teams. Just a really cool dude. I'm actually going to post a link to his site. He's got a bunch of tracks for free if you want to download them, just in case you're interested in this stuff. And actually, here's a sample clip of one of the things I used to wake up to.
And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you've got to be willing to give up sleep.
Yeah, so that's one of the clips I used to wake up to. But you know, man, it feels good. You realize, well, what am I sleeping for? I got things to do. My day's gonna be great. So anyway, here's how my morning starts. All right. So it's 5 a.m. and boom, my eyes are open. As soon as it's 5, I just jump straight out of bed, no alarm clock needed. And I've already got this feeling and this attitude that the day has met its match. So then next thing I do, I rush to the bathroom. I mean, like if you saw me, you would think I was late to something. Splash a bunch of cold water on my face and just paste the goofiest, cheesiest grin on my face, like a kid in a funhouse mirror. I mean, you just can't not feel good when you're just acting a little bit goofy. You know, so after a good brushing, I run to the kitchen, I pull out my bottle of water that I set in the fridge the night before, and I just chug the entire thing, slam it on the counter, and I'm just like, boom, first thing done. Check it off my list. And with this simple thing, I already have this sense of accomplishment. It's a little weird. But also, a quick side note here, you do need to drink water first thing in the morning. Your body gets very dehydrated as you sleep. You can lose up to like 2 pounds when you sleep, by the way, in just water weight. But when most people feel lethargic, oftentimes it's just a lack of water, a lack of hydration, rather than a lack of sleep. So the next thing I got to do is get my heart rate pumping, right? So I hit usually about 10 minutes of cardio. I switch it up, maybe push-ups, sit-ups, a little bit of shadow boxing, and I usually throw on some music or maybe watch one of my jiu-jitsu videos, you know, catch up on some arm bars, some chokes, something cool. And then after that, man, I am just completely freaking wired. I mean, I'm feeling energetic, I'm feeling good, my heart rate's up, and then I got to take it down to chill mode. And here's where I go and meditate for about 10 minutes. I switch this up a little bit too. Sometimes I do complete silence, and sometimes I kind of just think about all the things that I'm grateful for in my life. After that, I always read from my Bible. If you're interested, I've got a cool Bible. It's a study Bible that breaks up the entire book into 365 different readings. So you read one piece each day, and after a year, you've read the whole Bible. So I really enjoy that. Then afterwards, I do prayer. And then after praying, I journal. And I learned about journaling from Jim Rohn. Now, Jim Rohn is Tony Robbins' original mentor. And he said, a life worth living is a life worth recording. And you'd be surprised how much it helps to put your thoughts onto paper, not only to focus and plan and gain clarity, but also to reflect when you go ahead and look back on your journal days, months, or even years later. So next, after journaling, I go ahead and read some success-oriented book. And I'll actually leave my list of recommended readings in your bonus section. I actually just finished Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, which was an amazing book. Highly recommended. But you gotta read. And I don't mean this 50 shades of crap, like this kind of garbage, but things that make you think and grow. Rich people, successful people, all read books. And I used to think that I didn't have time to read. But even if you only read for 1 minute a day, even 3 pages a day, you'd be surprised how far you can get in just a few weeks. So after reading, I hop in a shower. I usually try to take a cold one, and I do my affirmations and visualization in there. I visualize my success, my leads coming in, my calls coming in, checks coming in, my wire transfers coming into my bank account, all that stuff. When I get out, I gotta eat. I make a natural protein shake most days, and I've got this killer recipe. Here it is: almond milk, a little bit of ice, green vibrance, which is an organic green powder. It's made from like 100 different types of organic vegetables, frozen blueberries, a frozen banana, some coconut oil, some frozen spinach and kale. I throw in a scoop of organic hemp protein, then blend it up, chug that down, feeling amazing, drop my multivitamin, and I am good to go. I have this sense of accomplishment. I feel good. I've done some personal development. I've done some exercise. It's just nothing that's going to stop me that day. I just feel unstoppable. So now let's go ahead and compare that to the average American's morning routine, okay? You wake up to an alarm clock. You hit the snooze button like infinity times. You take a warm, cozy shower that leaves you half asleep. Groom yourself, sleepwalk out of the house, drink a gallon of coffee, sit in traffic for about an hour, and then go and work for the man. So, this can no longer be you. So now I want to take a look at the components of your morning routine. And the first one is very important here. No more snoozing. Now let me drop some self-help knowledge on you, right? Everything affects everything. I could give you hundreds of examples, but I'm just saying here, you can't do things like, for example, have a messy house and expect to be organized in your finances. Everything affects everything. So in this way, let me show you how snoozing will kill your chance at success. So small, so trivial. People might think I'm exaggerating or a little bit crazy, a little extreme, but believe it or not, this is true. So, setting an alarm clock is a commitment you make to yourself. You're saying when you set that clock, I commit to waking up at this time. The next morning, if you snooze, you break that commitment. And snoozing therefore sends a subconscious message to your brain that it's okay to not do the things I said I was going to do. This is the type of person I am, the person who's okay with not following through. So, for that reason, as you can see, this is not optional. No more snoozing. So now let's look at the rest of the steps here. Quick recap. Drink water, gotta exercise, silence, meditation, and or prayer, reading, writing. I highly suggest, journaling about things you're grateful for. Also, you don't have to be writing a book here. I mean, if you can only write one sentence, one thought, that's fine. Just do any form of writing. Your affirmations and your afformations and visualization. And you can feel free to switch up the order to, however it works best for you. My routine generally takes me 60 to 90 minutes, but you can do this in as little as 6 to 10 minutes. Progress is better than trying to be perfect. Something is better than nothing. Got it? Also, we'll talk about habits later in the program, but essentially, you are your habits. So make this morning routine a habit. You can start it with a cue. Maybe it's that motivational speech that goes off in the morning, and then you end it with a reward. And my guilty pleasure is that I like to play video games. So I made a rule that it's only acceptable to play between 6:30 and 6:45 a.m. after my routine is done. So I give myself a little reward there. Not every day, obviously, but when I can. Also, remember the 30-day challenge. The first 10 days are unbearable. The next 10 are uncomfortable. And the next 10 you are unstoppable. Also, I want you to track your morning routine on the success tracker spreadsheet. It's going to be in your materials, or you can mark it off on a big wall calendar. What you want to do is every day that you perform your routine, just put a big X over that day. After a week or so, you're going to have this big chain of X's, and you won't want to mess it up. So this is called the don't break the chain technique. A lot of people talk about it, but bottom line is it works pretty well. And then I got to ask you once again that final question. How badly do you want to be successful? This routine is directly tied to your level of success. So if you want it, you got to do it. Now let's talk about some homework. All right, so the first thing I want you to do here is your first draft of your definite major purpose. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just put something on paper. It will evolve. You can add to it as you go. Next, write 10 success affirm and affirmations. And then set your two most important goals, especially for this program. How much do you want to make, and how soon do you want to make it? If you want to quit your job, what's your timeline? When will you be quitting? And then I want you to implement your morning routine tomorrow. You should be doing this tomorrow, no excuses. And I'm going to leave you with this. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It's more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Let this stuff sink in, let it marinate, let it saturate, really internalize it. Do your homework, and I will see you in the next module where we'll get into some wholesaling specific stuff. I'll see you then.